Hey guys, we're here in St. Vincent's University Hospital and we've been lucky enough to get access to this restricted area. We're going to meet a medical physicist and we're going to learn all about the type of scans that can take pictures of your body. Okay, so I'm in here with Niamh, who is a real-life medical physicist, and she works with all the physics of all this medical stuff every day. So Niamh, can you tell us a little bit what medical physicists do, and maybe we can learn a few things about it?
Of course, yeah. So a lot of the time, my role involves working with radiation. So that can be with patient scans, or it can be radiation protection. So for example, this is a scanner here that we have.
Yes.
It is a CT and a PET.
CT and a PET. What is CT and what is PET?
So CT stands for computed tomography and PET stands for positron emission tomography.
Okay, there's some big fancy words there. So computed tomography. What happens if I take a computed tomography or CT scan?
So a CT scan is very much like an X-ray that goes through the patient. The X-rays go through the patient and the scanner rotates around the patient and we get a nice image of our whole body.
So like in this kind of donut shaped thing here, there's basically an X-ray machine that goes round and round?
Yeah.
Okay, round and round. And when we say there's an X-ray machine, like how does X-rays even work? Is it what, some sort of, like we see it like these magic rays that you can see through stuff? How does an X-ray machine even work?
So X-rays are invisible, so we can't actually see them. So what happens is we have this really, really hot metal plate and we heat it up really, really hot. And once it gets really hot, it releases electrons.
Oh, electrons, yes, we've talked about those.
So a high voltage then accelerates these electrons towards a target. When they hit the target, they then release X-rays that can pass through our body.
Okay, right. So that's all happening inside this tube.
Yeah, all inside that tube.
And it's spinning round and round and round.
And round and round and round.
Okay, so that's computed tomography or a CT scan. So if you go for one, you know how it works. What about PET? What was it called again?
Positron emission tomography.
Positron emission tomography. Right, you're going to have to explain that to us as well. And that happens in this machine too?
In that machine too. So what's really nice about PET is that the radiation is actually inside the patient and is detected outside. Where with CT, they pass radiation through the patient to get an image.
Okay, so how do you get radiation inside the person to come out?
So what we do is we inject the patient with radiation and then we put them into the scanner and the radionuclide, which is what we put into the patient, then releases a positron.
Okay.
This positron then interacts with an electron and basically what happens is they just crash. And when they crash, they release two gamma rays, which are then detected by the PET scanner.
Gamma rays, they're like X-rays, but even like cooler, right?
Even cooler, yeah.
Okay, right. Wow, so this happens but hold on. You said you inject the patient with radiation. Is that not like super dangerous?
It's not super dangerous because the scans are very beneficial to the patient and we take a lot of precautions to make sure that everything is safe.
Okay, well that might bring us to our next question because I'm wondering what this like weird floating headless person here is. Is this got something to do with like learning about how this works and making it safe, or what is this for?
Yeah, exactly. It's about making it safe. So every day we come in and we have to make sure that the scanner is working properly before we put patients onto it.
Yes, of course.
So what we do is we have these things that are called phantoms.
Phantoms? Like ghosts?
No, not like ghosts, unfortunately. We fill them with radioactive activity, so like the activity that we put into patients. And we put it in the scanner and we just make sure that we can see everything inside the phantom.
Oh, so you put in like a known amount of radiation in a known place, and if you can see it in the right place here, you know that it's going to be right when you're doing it with the patient.
Exactly, yeah.
And is this why this one looks like a human, so it can like mimic a human exactly?
Exactly. So we have our lungs, we have our heart, and we have our liver. So we can actually put radioactive activity into the liver and into the lungs and image it as if it was a patient.
Okay, wow, so it's like perfect. And what's it made of? Is it jelly or something? Or?
So it's actually made of perspex. So perspex is very similar to how our body's made up, and we can fill it with water because our body's 70% water, so it mimics, again, our bodies.
That is fantastic to learn how all this works. And I wonder, could you show us maybe some images that you might take of something like this?
Oh yeah, of course. Follow me.
Oh, wow. So these are images that you would have took here at this exact scanner?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, well, can you tell me, there's two screens here. What are we seeing over here first?
So first of all, as we said inside, there's two parts, the PET scanner and the CT scanner.
Yes.
So this image here is our CT scan.
And is this of a person?
So this is not of a person, but of our phantom that we saw inside.
Okay, this is the phantom, the one that looked like the person's chest.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, it really looks exactly like bones and lungs and everything. It's really accurate.
Exactly, yeah. So you can see your bones, your heart, and your lungs. So that's our CT component. And then our PET component we can see here.
Oh, wow. Is this like a 3D rotating model?
Exactly, yeah. You can see it in 3D.
And what's this part that's lit up here in black? What's this one?
So this part here in black is actually our liver.
Okay.
So that's where we put the radioactivity into the liver in that phantom.
Okay, so, and then what's this whole fancy part on the left-hand side? What are we looking at here?
So this is the really cool part. So we can combine this image and get this image. And what that helps us with is that we can see all the structural information from this image, and then we can see what organ it's in this image, fuse them together, and we can see exactly where it is in the body.
So it's a CT and a PET scan on top of each other?
Exactly, yeah.
And can we like look up and down through the slices in the body?
Yeah, of course. So as we move up and down...
Okay, it's changing.
Yeah.
It's like, what, we're going like...
Yeah, exactly. We're just going through slices.
Wow, it's like you can view this whole slice without having to slice the person up and actually physically do it.
Exactly,
that would probably be very bad for your health. Okay, cool. Well, that's really interesting. But my eye is kind of caught here by something. Is this like, can you launch some nuclear bomb or something? What is this controller for? There's a big nuclear symbol here.
Unfortunately, it's not that cool, but this is what starts the scanner.
That's what starts the scanner, this cool nuclear button. Yeah. That is really cool. Every time you do it, you must kind of, like count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and bang. Cool. Okay, so when we see these kind of glowing regions, or this kind of where we see this picture of the liver, like, how does that picture actually get formed? And like, why did it know to take a picture of the liver and not to take a picture of the heart or the lungs?
Oh, Dan, that's a great question. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a radionuclide, and that's what's radioactive.
Yes.
But we tag that to a pharmaceutical.
Okay.
So we know different pharmaceuticals go to different parts of our body. They can go to the brain, the liver, the stomach.
Yes.
So the patient will take the pharmaceutical and it has the radiation tagged to it, and it will go to that area in the body. Okay. And then our detector will detect the radiation coming from that area.
So if you want to look at something that's happening in the liver, you take a special type of medicine or something that's attached onto it that goes to the liver. If you want to look at the heart, something for that. If you want to look at the lungs, something for that.
Exactly. And as I said, this is the PET CT, and what's really nice about PET is that you can tag the radionuclide to glucose molecule. So we know that we use glucose when we need to get energy, and our body uses energy all the time. Yes. So when patients come to get their PET scan, they're injected with the radionuclide that has the glucose attached to it. Okay. They have to sit in a really, really dark, quiet room. Okay. So the reason why they have to be in the dark and so quiet is because our muscles use up energy all the time when we start to move. Yes. So if you were on your phone and you were moving your fingers, the glucose would go to the muscles in your fingers, and they wouldn't go to the area of the tumor that we want to see, because tumor uses energy all the time to grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, well that is really fascinating. So you can use this to see if there is a tumour there, and that can help the doctors to figure out how to come up with their treatment and how to go about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, and where do you keep these kind of radioactive materials? Can we go and have a look at them?
Oh, of course, yeah. Let me show you.
All right, so I see a big safe in here. Is that where you keep your gold and diamonds and stuff?
I wish there was gold in there, but this is where we keep all our radioactive elements and all our radioactive substances. So we have to make sure that they're locked away, because they're only beneficial to the patient and not to anyone else. So if anybody else did come into contact with them, it would be dangerous for them.
I have you. So that's where you keep them locked away under lock and key.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then when you need to use them for the patient, you take them out? And
so what we do, is we take them out and we put them into little injections, and then we inject it into the patients.
And is that what we have in here?
Yeah, let me show you.
Yeah, cool.
So this is an example of a patient injection. So we have the syringe here, and
Yes.
the radiation is inside the syringe with the pharmaceutical. We have this lead shield around it because this protects the operator when they're injecting it into the patient.
It's made from lead.
Made from lead,
And that blocks the radiation from getting
Exactly,
through. Okay, wow. And can we measure the radiation?
Of course, yeah. Do you want to pull up that Geiger counter?
Yes, a Geiger counter right here. Huh? What are the chances? Perfect. Let me get my Geiger counter ready. We'll turn it onto here. Whoa. Okay.
So if you bring it closer
Whoa.
to the radiation, it gets very loud.
Wow. And that even gets through the shield.
A little bit gets through the shield, and then if I take it off,
Whoa. Oh my. Wow. So that shield totally works.
that shield works,
Oh
exactly.
my. Wow. So when we hear that, "Wah," that's like.
That's all the radiation that it's detecting.
Okay, cool. But okay, so is it not a bit scary for you to be around like all this radiation quite often?
That's a very good question, and it isn't because we put a lot of safety measures in place. So this is my dosimeter here.
A dosimeter.
A dosimeter. So it measures the dose that I'm getting on a monthly basis.
Okay, so this can measure the radiation you're exposed to.
Exactly.
And you can make sure it's not too much to be unsafe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, and also, when I go for an x-ray, I always got a bit freaked out because I would lie down for the x-ray and the person who's doing it like runs around this bomb-proof, screen and like is in there. And is that just because they're there every day or what's that about?
Exactly, because they're there every day, so they don't want to be exposed to the radiation every day.
But it's not bad for me who be exposed just once.
Exactly. It's good for you, but not good for me if I'm doing it every single day.
Okay, well, it sounds like you guys manage this all really well. You figure out how much radiation is okay, how much is not okay, how often you can have it, and if you do it that way, it's not really that scary.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Niamh, thank you so much for having me here today. I learned so much about CT and PET, so that's computed tomography and positron emission tomography.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I learned all about how you can take the images and all about how you can safely handle the radioactive material.
Yeah, exactly.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that too, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one.